Okay, today's video, we're going to show how to make a basket twist. And then we're going to take the basket twist and we're going to make it into a Christmas ornament. Okay, because it's getting close to Christmas. It's a week before Thanksgiving, and I'd like to show people some things to do for their loved ones for Christmas. So what we're going to do is we take 4 pieces of 1/4 inch square stock, preferably cold rolled, and we bundle it up into a bundle of 4. Now, there are several ways to do this bundle. You can do the bundle with baling wire back here on the ends, and you can tighten it down, okay? I prefer to use, if I've got them, I prefer to use hose clamps because it holds it better, okay? And then, of course, if I'm going to do production, I just take and I hit it with a MIG on the ends, just welding the very ends of them to keep it together while I'm forge welding it. If you weld the very ends, it doesn't show on the sides and it doesn't ruin your forge weld. Don't get on the sides. Just weld the very ends to hold it together if you're going to weld it. Like I said, I prefer to use, when I'm not going to weld them, I prefer to use hose clamps. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to forge weld about 2 inches on each end, which leaves us about 6 inches in the middle. And we may work our way in a little bit farther because we're going to want to draw this out, okay? So the first thing we're going to work on is forge welding this. We've got a fire in the background. Can't see it very well, but we've got the fire back here in the background, and we've got it good and coked up. We've got it clean. It's coked up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this, we're going to heat that in to a red heat, reddish orange heat. As we bring this up to temperature, we want to keep rolling. I've got a good pile of coal here. A lot of it's coated down, some of it's not, so I'm going to pick through it with my hands and find the coat, throw it on there. Give us a better base. We don't want to use green coal, we want good coated down coal. There we go. While we're at it, we want to bring it over here. We want to bring that stuff up to the side so it can be coking down as we go. We don't want to bring it on to the fire, we just want to bring it up the side and let it start cooking. Notice I'm not just cranking it to beat the band, just giving it a nice gentle breeze. We want to heat it up evenly, we want to heat it up slowly. We're going to start by welding the very end of it. Work our way back. So what we want to do is we want to come up here, we want to wire brush it. We want to clean it up. Now I had it pretty clean because it's cold rolled. It didn't have much slag on it. The scale, mill scale on it when we started. So we're going to wire brush it to a quick pointing scale. Okay, it's cool enough now that it's not forming scale. Now we want to bring it up here. We want to flux it. Just a nice even coat. We don't need to get carried away with it. Now we're going to stick it back in the fire. We're going to start heating that up to a welding heat. We don't want to go way down deep in the fire. We want to keep it up high in the fire. That way the oxygen is burned out of the fire by the time it gets to the piece we're going to weld. I made me a little hole so I can see down in there. We're going to do like we did before. We're slowly going to rotate it. Just a little bit at a time. So we're not going to get real hurry about heating that up. We want a nice, slow, gentle heat. What we're waiting for is we're waiting for that surface to start crawling, what we call crawling. If you look down in there, it'll get a glassy look to it. and then we'll start crawling, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, we're getting greenish blue flames. The borax is starting to burn. If we get a few sparks, this is mild steel, so if we get a few sparks, we're not going to worry about it. But we're there now. So here we go. Put a little more flux on it. Now you notice I didn't hit that real hard. I just basically tapped it and set the weld. Now when we flux this time, we're going to come up a little higher than we did last time. Okay. Got some nice good coat. Put it back in fire. I'm going to cover it up. I'm going to bring it up temperature again. Move the wire brush out of the way this time. I forgot to last time. You want to keep coal over the top of it. Got to hold that heat in. But at the same time, you want to try to be able to see down in there and see where you're at. Now we've got that weld set. We didn't hit it real hard. We just tapped it. Okay, that set the weld. If you hit that real hard, it takes some molten metal between the layers and it spits it out. So we just tapped it. We just wanted to bond those molten layers, okay? So when we bring it out this time, we're going to hit it a little harder. Not real hard, but, and we're going to start working our way back on it. Because we have our weld set. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to wire brush that. Put that one hose clamp out of the way. We don't need it anymore. We're going to forge weld some more of that. We're going to work our way up. Like I said, we're going to go about 2 inches. Maybe a little more than 2 inches. Okay. Now, if you're welding high carbon steel, you don't want those sparks. With high carbon steel, by the time you got those sparks, you've already ripped the metal. We want to work ourselves down just a little bit more. So we're going to move down, we're going to weld one more just a little bit farther down, and then we're going to switch in. We're not going to complete our taper yet. We want to get our 2 welds done first. So we want to rotate this. Okay. Rotate it a little bit. Just a little bit more. Here we go. Kind of clean things up a little bit before we change in. Got it welded, we've got our taper started. Now we're going to switch ends. We're going to forge weld the other end. First First thing we want to do again is we want to heat it up to a red heat. We don't want it to an orangish yellow, we just want a reddish orange heat. We want to heat it up slow. Our fire was clean. It'd been burning for a little while. We did a demonstration of an icicle earlier. Got the fire good and hot. Then we start putting coke on it. So we got a clean fire. You don't see any smoke. We don't have any clinker in the bottom of it. So let's bring this out. Almost got it too hot talking. Wire brush that real good. Cooling down, we're not swimming scale anymore. So that's the point that we want to put flux on it. It's still red, still melting the flux. About an inch, inch and a half is what we want to flux, maybe a little more. Flux all four sides. Now we're going to put a little bit of coke down in the bed of that fire. Put that on there. We don't want to dig down deep. We want it about level. We want to cover it up. We want plenty of coke on top of it. Hold it easy. Now we're going to slowly bring this to a welding heat, just like we did before. We don't want to bring it up real fast. You're not going to see me just swing this thing around 80 mile an hour. We're going to bring it up slowly. We're going to keep rotating it. We're going to heat it evenly. I got kind of a cave started. I can see my piece real good. That's what we like to see. Just about there. Like I said, it's turning greasy on us. We're starting to kind of work her, move in and out and back and forth and just kind of crawl over the surface. We're not going to get in a real big hurry. We're going to let that soak. Got some greenish blue flame where the flux is burning. Okay, here we go. Just like we did before, we're going to wire brush that a little bit. Clean it off, take a look at it. We're going to flux about 2 inches this time. More or less, probably more than less. Once again, we're going to go all around all four sides. Want to get a good coating on there. Now all I'm using is anti-borax. The only reason I'm using anti-borax is because it doesn't leach. When I use 20 mil team borax, I've got pieces on the wall in the house that were done 10, 15 years ago that still leach borax out of them. And I have to clean them once in a while. Let's get us some more coat. Bring it up here, up on top, make us a little cave. Same thing we did before. Going to bring it up slowly. We don't want to bring it up real fast. We want that to be a nice even temperature. So you don't want to hit it hard. That's the key to this. You don't want to rear back and just boom. You want to just tap it. You don't want to hit it hard. If you think about it, the knife makers that are using the 50-ton presses now, those presses don't come down real fast. They come down reasonably slow and they squish. They turn it and they squish. They turn it and they squish. They're not hitting it hard, they're just squishing. They're bonding that molten metal. If you hit that real hard, you're going to squirt some of that molten metal out. You want to keep that molten metal in there. Let's finish our weld. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to water brush that because we're done welding. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those hose clamps off. Maybe we can get them with a screwdriver, maybe we can't. Depends on how much damage we did to them. Okay, now let's see if we can get them off there. There's one. There's two. Hose clamps off. So now that we got the weld set, what we're going to do now is we're going to finish that weld. Once we get the weld finished on that end, we're going to start rounding them up and tapering them, doing our tapers. Because we're making a Christmas tree ornament. We want it tapered on both ends, and we want to put a little scroll on the top, a little scroll ring on top to hang it by. And then after that, then we're going to take it and we're going to twist it and untwist it and make the basket twist. Same way we've been doing it. We want to bring it up slowly, the temperature, and we're going to hit it a little harder this time. We've got it welded. So we're going to hit it a little harder this time because we're going to start welding and forging at the same time. We're going to move metal and weld at the same time. Okay, here we go. Hard on us. Put that back in the heat. Okay. Water brush it a little bit. Come along nicely. We want to do our taper. Coal, let's put it back in the fire. You want that when you work that in, or when you work the whole piece now, you want it to be at a welding heat. Now we're going to start knocking the edges off of it. Up to the end of our weld. Okay, we're getting cold. We need to put it back in. Okay, we're going to continue our taper. We started rounding things up, so we're going to continue rounding things up. Okay, we're going to continue rounding this up. Now when I round things up, I find it a lot easier to use a tong clip with my tongs. That way, I don't have to keep such a good grip on the tongs when I spin it to round it up. Works better for me that way. Then all I got to do is spin my hand to round this up. Now as that tip cools, I want to stay away from that tip. don't want to take a chance of breaking that weld. So let's stick it back in the fire. Very nice end, very nice end. Nice point. Work our way back slowly, rotating it the whole time. Straighten that out. Okay. Water brush it and see where we're at. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Nice smooth taper. Rounded ends. Blends well up at the top. So let's switch ends now. Now we're going to continue working that taper on the other end that we started when we first forward welded that in. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to make a nice long taper, then we're going to round it up. Then we're going to see which end taper is the longest. Whichever end is the longest taper, then we're going to take that in, we're going to put the little curlicue to hang it by. And then we're going to do our basket twist. Okay. We're getting down past an orange. I'm going to heat it back up some more. So we want to keep that piece about even with the fire pot, top of the fire pot. Fire pot's about 5 inches deep. And we want to keep coke piled up on top of it. We don't want to get real deep down into our fire pot. We want to stay even with the top of our fire pot. We want to be at a welding heat or close to a welding heat when we're working. Let's start heating it back up. Okay. And then we want to knock the corners up. Start rounding up. We're going to come clear back to the end of the forward weld. Now we're going to stick it back in fire. We're going to start rounding it up. Almost too hot, almost burnt that end off. When you get those delicate ends, you have to be careful because you can burn that end off. Okay, we're going to finish rounding it up. And then we're going to put the curlicue to hang it by on. Rat tail, pigtail scroll, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's water brush that real quick. We've got a nice, even, straight taper. We've got a nice transition from round to square. So I'm happy with it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the little curlicue on it to hang it by. Now this end that we're putting in the fire is about 5.5 inches long. The end facing me, the taper is about 4.5. So we're going to take the longer taper and we're going to use it to make the rat tail since we've got more length to work it with. We just want to take this just like we did before, bring it over the edge of the anvil. You just want to work it over. Now we want a bigger than usual rat tail. So we bring it around on the anvil. There's our rat tail. Now when we heat that back up, going to take our pair of needle nose pliers that I've ground all the teeth off of and ground the edges off of, and I use them for scrolling tongs. They make real nice scrolling tongs. We just want to grab it here. You just want to bend it back to where it's just got a nice crook in it. It's more or less centered so that we can hang it like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to heat this section here where it's not welded. We're going to heat that, and then we're going to twist it. We're going to cut number twist. We're going to twist it about 1.5 turns or 6/4. Okay, then we're going to bring it back 3/4, about halfway, pushing down as we bring it back. But we have to get this in here heated evenly. So we're going to put it on top of the fire where we can see it. We're going to start heating it up. Just like when we're getting ready to weld, we want to rotate this. Now we don't want to bring it to a loading heat, but we do want it at a good orangish red heat. Orangish yellow, actually. Orangish yellow heat, but we want an even heat. So we're just going to keep rotating it while we heat it. Keep rotating it as we go. We're going to stand it up just right below the forge weld. We're going to come up here just above the forge weld. We're going to grab it. We're going to twist it. 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 1, 1/4, 1/2. Now before we untwist it, we're going to go ahead and we're going to heat it back up one more time. You want that good and hot. But there you see right there. Got a nice even twist on it. Okay. Now when we bring that back out and we put it back in the vise, you need some kind of screwdriver. Now this is just a handmade screwdriver made from a piece of 3/8 rod that I forged the end of it into kind of like a makeshift screwdriver. It's got a nice round end so I can, because when I go to push this down and open it up, it's going to want to open, but some of it's going to stick. So you want to take this and you want to use this in there for the pieces that want to stick together. Okay? So you got to have a screwdriver. I'm going to put it right here. Put that right there. I'm going to heat everything up. Nice even heat. Keep turning it. Get it even. You want an even heat. Okay, so we're going to bring this out. Put it back in here. Now if you remember right, we turned it 6 turns, 6/4. So we want to turn it 3/4 back. So we're going to set that down. 1/4, 2/4. Now luckily everything's coming apart. And there's 3/4. We got lucky and everything came apart and we didn't need our screwdriver. That doesn't happen very often. Okay? So let's pull that out. And there's our basket twist. Now we want to wire brush that real good. Take our wooden or our leather mallet. And let's just, oh, I like it. I like it a lot. There's our basket twist. See how nice that is? Now that'll hang like that. Now to make that even a nicer Christmas gift, I've got an idea. So it just so happens I've got a nice marble, orangish gray, that I'm going to put inside of this to make it even more special. So we're going to heat that up, spread that out, we're going to put a marble in. So to do that, we're going to need our marble right here. We're going to need a nice wide chisel. Use this one, our screwdriver, and then let's get us a pair of channel locks to make it easier to close it back up. Here's a pair of channel locks. So let's heat that up. This time we only have to heat it on one side because we're going to open up 2 of those pieces. So what we want to do is we want to put that in the vise, just like so. Now we want to take this, we want to open that up. Well, try this. Let's open that up a little bit. Let's put them in there. See how that opens that up? Is it opened up enough yet? Not quite. I'm going to open it up a little bit more. Not quite yet. Okay, it'll go now, but we don't want to, it's cooled off quite a bit. So we don't want to get it in there and then not be able to close it back up. So let's take that and let's heat that back up. But if you look, I'll show you. There's the opening that we made for it. You can see the opening right there real good. So let's heat that back up. Okay, we got it heated up. Put it back in the vise. Drop our marble in there. Now we want to grab that. Open them up as far as we can. We want to pull them back. A little bit more. Pull them back. Okay. Now we want to grab that real quick. We want to quench that. Okay, here's our finished basket twist ornament. We have the marble in it, as you can see. Turned out real nice, got a nice even twist. Okay? And when it hangs like that. You can see it. We'll try. Well, there we go. You can see it there. It hangs like that. I like these. I think they make a nice Christmas ornament. I hope you found something in this video worth your time to watch it. I really do. And I thank you for watching. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And be safe out there. Thanks for watching. Bye.